Hi, I'm Jared. Welcome to Fun Science Demos. I'm sitting in a garden, and that garden is in a school. More about that later. Let's start with this. This is an apple. So I'm going to split this apple open so we can see what's inside. Here we go. And what do we find? We find seeds. Now it's easy for me to count how many seeds are in this apple, but here's a bigger question. Is it possible to count the number of apples that are in this one seed? Well, what do I mean by that? I mean that if I plant this apple seed, it's going to grow into an apple tree. And what grows on an apple tree? Apples. It'd be almost impossible to count the number of apples that could grow from this one tree that grows from this one apple seed. And that's the big idea. The life cycle of plants. Seeds are absolutely amazing. All plants want to make more plants. Scientists call that reproduction. And most plants reproduce through seeds. Now we're going to take a tour through this garden today and look at a lot of different flowers and plants and see if we can find their seeds. But first, let's take a look at these two plants right next to me. This first plant is called the sunflower. Kind of looks like the sun with the bright yellow petals. So where are the seeds? This looks like the flower, but when I actually break open this head and split it open so I can take a closer look, the seeds, they're actually inside of the whole head here of the sunflower. All of these seeds become a new plant, a new sunflower plant, when we plant them. Now let's take a look at this plant. This plant is actually called the Chinese lantern plant, and I want you to see if you can find the flowers on this plant, because many times the flower is the key to where the seeds are. So if I lift up these leaves, you'll see the flowers actually hanging down here. And what's so neat about this plant is as those flowers grow, as those flowers age, they're eventually going to turn into these lanterns. That's why it's called the Chinese lantern plant. And guess what's growing inside of these lanterns? Seeds. So let's split one open and see if we can find the seeds. Let's pull a lantern. And I'm going to carefully peel the lantern open. And you will be able to see this round green thing. It's actually a fruit. It might look like that's one seed of the plant, but this is the really cool part. I'm going to cut this open because the seeds are actually inside of this fruit. Here. So now let's cut open into this fruit to see if we can find the seeds. Take a look at all of those little tiny seeds, lots and lots of little tiny seeds. And all of these seeds would make more Chinese lantern plants. So we've seen that seeds can be hiding in plants. We've seen that in the apple, we've seen that in the sunflower, we've seen that in the Chinese lantern plant. Let's now tour this garden and see if we can find some other seeds hiding in other plants. Our eyes are automatically drawn to this beautiful colors in the flowers, bright, vibrant colors. But underneath these flowers, we see all these seed pods. That's because these flowers will all turn into these seed pods. And what's in the seed pods? Seeds. And what does the plant do with those seeds? Those seeds become new plants. It's the life cycle of plants in action. Now I'm kneeling right next to a tomato plant. And we're going to try to look for the seeds in this tomato plant. And really the secret is to try and find the flowers first. So right in front of my face, there should be little yellow flowers. And these flowers are going to turn into tomatoes. And inside the tomatoes are seeds. Now let's take a closer look so we can see the flowers turning into tomatoes and then see if we can find the seeds. So what are we looking at here? Here we see the tomato flower, and right next to it you can see little tiny tomatoes actually growing from these flowers. And then as the tomatoes get more mature and they ripen into a tomato, there should be seeds inside this tomato. So let's cut this open and see if we can find the tomato seeds. So let's open this tomato up and take a look at the seeds. I peel it back. And it looks kind of mushy, but inside that mush are all those little tiny white tomato seeds. I'm standing next to this big tree. It's actually a Buckeye tree, and trees are plants too. And many trees also make seeds. Can you find the seed pods? If you pick these guys out right here, you would be correct. We're gonna try and break one of these open and see the seeds inside this seed pod. So let's split open this seed pod and see if we can find the seeds. And take a look at that. Beautiful. Very easy to pick the seed out of the Buckeye tree. I'm in a garden surrounded by plants, and most of these plants make seeds. And we've seen that those seeds come in many different shapes and sizes and colors. It's really an adventure to see if we can go around and find all of the different seeds that these plants make. And all of those seeds make new plants. It's the life cycle of plants in action. In the beginning, we mentioned that this garden's in a school. Schools are great places to start gardens because gardens are just perfect for bringing science to life for kids. This garden is at McKinley Elementary in Abington, Pennsylvania, and we'd like to thank Dr. Lentz and McKinley Elementary for opening up this beautiful garden for us to use. We'd also like to give a huge shout out to all the parent volunteers who keep this garden looking awesome. Think about starting a garden at your school. Science is so cool. Stop and try to wonder why.